Welcome to Buying Local, everyone. I'm your host, Mike Nelson from Five Towers Media, joined today by who I'm pretty sure has the record for most podcast appearances here on Buying Local, Don Walton from Elite Fighting Promotions. Did I do it right that time?
Exactly.
It's actually our second take, everybody, because I'm a moron. What's up, brother? How are you?
Not much, man. Just been busy.
Yeah, I know. That's what it sounds like, man. Let me just put my old man readers on so I can adjust your levels here. You sound a little... Just want to get you a little more here. Yeah, you've been busy. You got a lot of stuff going on. Before we started recording, you were telling me that you just got back from Maryland?
Yeah.
Tell the audience what you're doing in Maryland.
So I train fighters as well, along with promoting them and things like that. And one of our fighters had a chance to fight the number one ranked guy in the country in his division. We lost on decision, but it's one of the toughest fights that kid's ever had against somebody. This kid, his nickname is One Kick. And he kicked our guy Marcus with several things, and he was not going down, and Marcus hurt him too. They both hurt each other. Yeah. It was a crazy, wild fight, and the hardest part for me was I kept being so, entertained. All right, I'm coaching. I'm coaching. Right.
So. One Kick. That's got to make you feel really good going into a fight against a guy that is called One Kick. I assume it's because he knocks people out
with one kick all the time. And we have videos on him where he's dropping guys like crazy with stuff. And he hit Marcus, or tried to hit Marcus, with pretty much every single knockout shot that usually gets him the win. And some of them Marcus was able to nullify, avoid, things like that. Other ones he got hit by, and Marcus just was like, do not back down. And one of the things I said to him was, you cannot respect this guy that much. What I mean by that is not being a jerk, but you go in there and you go, don't pay him too much respect with his resume. Get in his face and let him know, no, I'm here for this. Yeah. This is my fight too. I'm not scared of you. And he won the final round, but the first two rounds he didn't win. It just happened to be, 2 versus 1. You're going to lose that. But he started to break him and wear him down. So we hope to run that back again within the next year or so.
Run that fight back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Losing to a decision, if you're going to lose, that's the way to do it. I would imagine. I'm not a fighter. I have no freaking idea. But, I would imagine I would want to lose by decision rather than getting my ass knocked out. So, from some of the gory details you gave me, it sounded like it was a good fight.
It was a fun time.
An entertaining fight. And I have to say, I now have my first Muay Thai class under my belt.
How'd you like that?
When's my first fight? I loved it. I got to be honest with you. It was fun. It was, and having not done any kind of striking in probably 15 years, it was fun just to be on my feet doing stuff as opposed to doing jiu-jitsu and being thrown in my ass and choked all the time. But no, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. He was a great coach. I mean, he was good at explaining what we were doing, and luckily I got paired off with a kid that it was also his first class. And Mark did a great job of, we were getting lost on what we were supposed to be doing, and he was giving us good direction and correction, and it was great.
Yeah, he's a really good teacher. That's part of the reason why I brought him on the staff.
Yeah.
Would you believe he's only 24?
Being a man of my seasoned decades now, everyone looks like they're 12 to me. And I knew he was a young kid. I wasn't sure. He looks like he's in his 20s, but probably I wouldn't have guessed 20. You said 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Good for him, man. You got to be young like that in order to fight.
Yeah.
From what you described to me of some of the things that went down, I'd still be in the hospital. So. What are you going to do? I feel like I need to go to the hospital. Actually, my old man body is acting up these days. So I know we want to talk about a few things, obviously not just Marcus and his fight. We want to talk about the fights that you have coming up.
Yep.
So I always think about it like fight night, but what is it called? Do you have a name for it?
Just Elite Fighting Promotions. That's it. And, if you want to call it fight night or whatever.
That's what I call it.
Sometimes we'll have a theme to the night. Like last time, it was Elite Fighting Promotions live at Chowderfest. This one...
Oh, that's right. It was during Chowderfest.
Yeah. This one's just Elite Fighting Promotions 4, because this is the 4th Elite Fighting Promotions. We've done 5 shows altogether, but this is the 4th as Elite Fighting Promotions. Okay. The first one, we were working with somebody else that didn't work out, and we just said, we don't want to use your name anymore. We wish you well. And then we just said we're going to go with our own brand and just do it that way. And so This will be the 4th show under as Elite Fighting Promotion. So I was trying to think of something clever. I'm like, no, it's just Elite Fighting Promotions 4. Yeah. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah,
no need to make it anything
get wild and crazy and start having brand confusion.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's about the fights. It's about the purity of that, and as much as it's a show, it's fights. You know, if you want something more, then I don't know what to tell you.
You've sold out every show, right?
Pretty much. The last show especially, every single seat was full. Yeah. Like at one point there was standing room only for general admission is first come, first serve. There's no assigned seating for that. So if the general admission seating fills up, I'm like, find a back wall to stand in and just watch. And so the city center comfortably, I say comfortably, you could fit, we're talking like around 2,500, 3,000 people in there.
Oh, really? That many people?
Yes, but again, when I say comfortably, that's like when you're selling a small house, you're like, oh, it's cozy. Like, it's small. As far as, you know, if you get at least 800 people in there, every seat's going to be full.
Yeah.
You get more than that, which is what happened last time. I think we got around like 1,000 people that showed up last time.
That's awesome.
So, and our front row of VIP tables, I think I only have one left. They were sold out, and then a fighter dropped, and a lot of shows will be mean about it, and they're just like, if I get an email that says, hey, the person I was going to come watch fight, their fight dropped out.
Yeah.
Can I get my money back? I'm nice about it. A lot of other shows go, nope, no refunds. And I just go, no, I'll gladly, especially at tables, they disappear. So
yeah, well, I was going to say too, like, if you don't give them their money back, that means you can't resell the table, which means that you got an empty table, and that doesn't look good, right? So it's like, let them have their money back. Resell the table. It's not like you're like, as far as I know, you haven't had really a trouble selling those tables on any of the shows.
I run out of tables first above. It's really weird. It either goes, when the tickets first start selling, it's really funny to watch. Sometimes the front row will start to trickle, but it usually goes tables, general admission, the first thing is disappear.
Yeah.
So
some exciting things. So I know that we want to talk about the fight card.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the reasons of bringing you on, is to really kind of help listeners that care about fights, because there's obviously quite a few of them out there that enjoy the sports. What do we got going on? Like, I know that you've got a big deal going on.
Yeah.
Why don't we start there? Why don't we start with the big deal?
So the biggest one is Adel Lolich versus a guy named Nick Johnson. So Nick is local from Glens Falls, but he's been training and living in Vegas with Randy Couture.
Oh, has he really? I didn't know that.
And Adel Lolich, he is down in Connecticut, and so he's traveling up this way, and Nick is flying out within the next few weeks to be staying up there. And
I think I saw a backyard like barbecue fight with Nick.
Oh, that was ages back,
right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like it was on like YouTube or some shit like that. And
that was...
I don't really know Nick. I think I might have met him once in the last 10 years around the community. But all of a sudden I see this. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know who that kid is.
Yeah,
and they're like, you know, in the pallet cage or whatever it is that people do in these backyard brawl clubs.
He did that years ago.
Yeah.
He this will be a professional Muay Thai fight.
So not in the backyard.
Exactly. No, this will be a real pro Thai fight, like elbows without elbow guards on, no shin pads, knees to the face. And for people listening, Muay Thai, to educate you on Muay Thai, the difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing is I can grab you, throw you around, knee you in the face, and elbow you in the face. In kickboxing, you can't do that. So that's the difference, in case anyone's wondering. But yeah, this will be the first professional Thai fight in our area ever. We've never had one in upstate New York.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Right, is
it's never happened.
And why hasn't it happened?
It's an insurance thing. It's all about money. Nobody can afford it. I managed to afford it this time around. I'm not saying I'm going to be able to afford it every time.
Not saying there's not going to be loan sharks knocking on my door in a week or two.
Exactly. But like this time around, we were able to swing it. So I go, yeah, let's make it happen. I'm not. Yeah. I hope one day that right now the show itself sustains itself. That's all I care about. I don't give a about money. I don't care about turning over a giant profit. I made this show so that way fighters in the community had an opportunity locally, because I travel all the time. Like I said, I was out in Maryland. The month of March, I went Delaware, Brooklyn, and Ohio all in the same month. In June, I'm going to go Connecticut twice because I just hate myself. The show here, and then I'm flying out to Italy. So like
Yeah.
And it's all for fights. It's not for me. It's so that way people have more opportunities to compete as often as they can. And I'm all about, when I was in Southern California, which is a completely different state compared to here, you can fight every weekend if you're very, very lucky, because there's so much opportunity out there. I just want to bring, unfortunately, I'm one guy. I can only do so much. And it is what it is. But I'm super happy with the fact that I managed to just create another opportunity. And there's other promoters in the state of New York that I work with, and with all of us, what we do is we're all in a group chat with each other.
Yeah.
The promoters that get along, at least I should say. And so we go, hey, I'm planning a show on this date. When is yours? Okay, maybe I won't plan it on this date so it doesn't contradict with yours. And then I'll go, hey, I need a matchup for this guy at this weight with this record. Oh, I got somebody. Hey, do you have someone for this guy? Let me see. And so we all work together as a collective because it's about the community. It's not about anything else.
Yeah.
And the only time that I want money coming in really is just so that way I can pay for the next show and pay for the current one and pay for all the bills that come with this. If anything, so far I've put nothing really in my pocket at all.
So you don't have Dana White money yet?
No.
What do you mean? You've got 4 shows under your belt. You should be rolling in it.
Everybody looks at it and they're just like, oh, he's rolling in it. I'm like, no, I just do this because I love this.
It's always the funniest thing. People think that you're rolling in it because you have a business. It's like, no, especially not in New York State, folks.
It's actually the opposite, But no, so we got a professional.
It's an expensive hobby.
Professional Thai fight. And before that, the co-main event is a local guy here. Logan Samaria is his name. A lot of people know him as like the Viking or Odin's son. He is awesome. Does
he look like a Viking?
Yeah.
Like I have a picture in my mind right now of like what that would look
like.
Big,
huge beard, and he usually walks out to some sort of like Viking drum music. And he's fighting a guy, Kenny Mosso, who is from Massachusetts out of FAF gym, who is ranked as well and has really impressive resume. So I think that fight's going to be a banger because Logan is a tough guy to kill. He's one of my sparring partners, and I have a hard time putting him down.
Was he the guy that was there in like the yellow gi at your black belt ceremony?
No, that's his coach Jeremy. Though.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah,
that's Jeremy.
Now I got like all these different people rolling through my head. So one of the things I feel like I should ask about is, or we should at least talk about, is that like when you're doing matchups, that's your thing as far as making sure that there's a matchup that's going to give a good fight, which may mean that it's going to last more rounds but it's just a fairer fight. Right?
Exactly. I tell people, I can't tell you how often this happens. I'll have coaches reach out, and it happens all the time. A lot of fighters and a lot of coaches don't want to be challenged. They'd rather try and find like a guaranteed, and I get it. You want your guys I want my guys to win every single time. I train fighters that I've put into my own show, and I've had guys lose.
Yeah.
It's happened on more than one occasion because I'm a big believer in challenge them now. Like at the amateur, so for people who don't understand, there's amateur, which means you don't get paid. There's professional where you get paid. At professional, when you first start out as a professional, you get a little choose because you want to build a career properly. Amateur is like, it's like your high school education. Like it's the time to kind of mess up. College is when you start to actually care. And then there's your profession after you graduate. So going from amateur to pro is you graduated. And so you're just getting your education as an amateur. So I'd rather challenge my guys. Like Marcus, at the time, he had a record of 7-1 this past weekend. Went into the fight and he fought a guy that was 11-3, and he's ranked number 1 in the country right now.
Yeah.
I had some people just like, and again, I had a few naysayers like, oh, dude, I don't think he's going to survive that fight. Oh, man, that's going to be a really tough fight. They went the distance, and I knew it. And I said, I don't know if Marcus will win this one. In fact, I have my doubts personally. I said, if he does, it's going to be a close fight, and he's going to have to push. Now, mind you, he pushed. He made it a war, and the kid...
That dude's never going to forget his name.
Yeah, and I literally looked at his opponent's face afterwards, and there were lumps on his head that I was watching grow in front of me. Like, literally, like I saw a horn grow.
That's wild.
So, for me, it's all about challenge yourself. Make mistakes. Screw up. That's the point of the amateurs. And so, the majority of the fights are amateurs, but also, we're getting some pretty high-level amateurs. And, of course, you got guys that start off in the novice rule set, and then they move their way up into the more advanced classes. But for me, I try and make the fairest matchups I can. So,
do you find that like you're saying that the competition's getting greater? Do you feel that like it's because of there's just, like you can't trip on a rock and fall down without landing in a jiu-jitsu academy right now. I mean, jiu-jitsu is everywhere, right? Yeah. And so are other martial arts academies. Do you feel that some of these combative sports like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, like are just so much more on the rise now, like that people
absolutely.
are looking for them?
Everybody now is starting to get some form of a striking program into their jiu-jitsu gym. Mm-hmm. Jiu-jitsu gyms are popping up more. Back in the day when I first started, there was you had 3 options,
right?
If you were lucky. And now it's becoming a lot more popular here. I will say, personal opinion, we still have a long ways to go. When I was out in California, you throw a rock, you're going to hit a legitimate place that has a well-rounded program. Mm-hmm. Out here, it's still a little bit thinner than that, but it's getting there. And I'm starting to see it on the rise. And the next 5 years or so, I think we're going to see a huge uptake in the quality of the martial arts in our area.
Yeah. I mean, it's already pretty good. Like, I think there's just so much great jiu-jitsu everywhere right now. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of great, we'll call them gyms for lack of a better word, but there's a lot of great gyms right now, like locally, whether it's up in Glens Falls, here in Saratoga. I mean, obviously
down in Albany area.
Down in Albany. Like, I mean, I'm pretty partial to the Saratoga Alliance Jiu-Jitsu program.
Same.
But it's I do really actually like the Alliance program just because of the format and how structured it is. The curriculum, I think that's huge. Having like a
lot of people don't have that
curriculum, and being at when you go to test for your you test for your blue belt. There's certain things that you need. Like, I know a lot of gyms that'll give a guy a blue belt just because he's able to shoot a double and hold people down and go, okay, can you explain an arm bar? Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've always really enjoyed that about the Alliance program, because it's my type A structured personality likes, check this box, check this box, check this box. You're a blue belt.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it. And great people, obviously. I mean, you and I are there, so obviously great people. But.
Plus, their Nogi and Muay Thai coach is adorable,
Oh, yeah. I got to get in the Nogi. Holy shit. I got to get in there for all of it. Which I think if you listen to me on a regular basis, anytime we talk about jiu-jitsu, that's pretty much what I say. I'm like, I need to get in there. I haven't rolled in a while. I keep running into jiu-jitsu people, and I just feel ashamed.
You just got to walk through the door.
I know. Well, that's the challenge, is my schedule right now. But so when you're looking at the matchups that you have, how many fights do you have?
We have 17 booked right now.
17 booked fights. So that's 34 fighters.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a lot of people to keep track of.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize that, I need to check in on them, make sure everyone's uninjured still. Weekly, I send messages to coaches, and I'm just like, is everyone still good? Okay. Or hey, I never got this guy's medicals in. Hey, where's this guy's fight license and things like that. And I'm like, I know y'all are fighters. I know you guys are just used to punching and kicking things. I just need you to, there's a little bit of homework that needs to be done, guys. Mm-hmm. If you could, I can only do so much for you. I can't do your blood work for you and things like that. And so when it comes
What's the blood work about? What do you have to do blood work
They test you for certain diseases that are bloodborne pathogens. So that if you get cut in the fight, you don't pass something on to your opponent.
Ebola. Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they test you for certain diseases that New York State requires you to be tested for, things that are just incurable, that they need to make sure are not in your system.
I think anyone that's been to a fight has actually asked themselves that question, are you worried about getting some, there's blood everywhere?
The fighters are some of the safest people to receive blood from because they get tested regularly.
All the time. They know what they have and don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild. Okay, so, and I'm sorry, I keep pulling us down different tangents, but so 17 fights. Mm-hmm. And while you're talking too, I'm thinking about this. So do you, when you're because I see your posts on Facebook, and obviously I have conversations with you pretty regularly, and talking about, you've got this person that wants to fight, so you're trying to find a matchup for them. And then it's not just first come, first serve. It's you're really going through a process of vetting those fighters, making sure it's going to be a good.
The audience as a collective is a genius. Mm-hmm. Okay. There was this fight years ago, not my show, but a different show, where I remember I fought at, and it was a good fight. I won, and it was a good fight. People were thoroughly entertained. The very next fight, this dude walks out, and you could just tell just by looking at them that it was a mismatch. Mm-hmm. One hit, it was over, and the audience booed.
Yeah, that's lame. I would be pissed.
They want a fight.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a perfect system. When I make a matchup, If some guy, for whatever reason, is just that much better than the other guy, once in a while that happens. Most of the time, though, I think I have a pretty good eye for it. I tend to look at record. I'll try, if I can, to watch tape on them. Some of these guys, I go to their gyms and I train with them. I get to know them, especially like the debuters where I've never seen them fight before. I'll go get to know them. And then I go, okay.
I love that. I go and train with them. I go get punched in the face by them.
Yeah. And then I go, okay. And then I'll go to another gym and I go, hey, these two could make a good matchup. Yeah, let's make that happen. And so that's usually how I try and judge it. Or depending on the gym's reputation, I sometimes can judge based off that as well. And then for the most part, I think a lot of my fights tend to go the distance because I have had complaints about that from the judges that they hire with the athletic commission, because they're like, dude, like, because some of them are close and they're like, dude, you really make us work. I'm like, sorry, you have to get paid to do your job.
So you're like the analog Tinder of local fighting.
Exactly.
That's
So yeah, people will send, and I tell them, I go, okay, and I ask for certain statistics on their fighters' age, height, weight, what their record is, stuff like that, what their stance is. And then I just go from there and I go, okay, let me do my best with my educated brain from training for years. And I don't know how to explain this to people other than like, I've just trained for so long that like I can see little things and I just know what I'm looking at. So I know how to judge the fight. I've been told that they're all very competitive fights. And when I watch it, I go, yeah, I don't think there was a single fight in there that I wasn't thoroughly entertained by.
Yeah. I mean, I've only been able to get to one of your previous shows. I had an amazing time. The fights were amazing. Like that when that one guy picked the one dude up and like basically carried him across the ring.
Oh yeah,
that was wild. Like it was great.
The alcohol, I'm sure, helped too.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, like Druthers just has good beer, man, and those IPAs they'll get you. The other thing I was going to ask you too when you're talking about setting up the matchups is like. So you had said like you're checking in with everybody to make sure that everybody's still healthy and the matchup is still good. Like, what do you do if 3 days before the fight someone gets injured and can't fight? Like,
Cerrone Plumbing and HVAC are dedicated to providing expert plumbing and heating services and continuously improving to meet the needs of our community and building long-lasting relationships. We offer 24/7 emergency services, 0% financing, and monthly specials. Call us today at 518-798-6560 or visit us at 115 Everett Ave, Queensboro, New York. Whenever you need us, we are here.
what do you do if 3 days before the fight someone gets injured and can't fight? Like
9 times out of 10, I just go, sorry, buddy, you don't get to fight.
To the other guy.
Yeah, I go, your opponent got injured. Once in a blue moon, especially when it's close. Like if right now I get a phone call and they're like, oh, this guy just dropped. Oh my God, he's injured. I go, okay, no worries. And I just try and find someone else. I never guarantee anything.
Yeah.
If you reach out to me with a team, and some coaches don't understand this, a lot of them do, but some coaches reach out and they're like, why haven't you found a fight for my fighter yet? I'm like, it's not that simple. And I go, sometimes fighters aren't available. Sometimes I have no one. The hardest weight for me to match for whatever reason is 170 pounds. Mm-hmm. That weight class is cursed for me. If you reach out to me with a 170-pound fighter, it's the hardest thing to match. I don't know why. It's like the one that's the tough. 155 and below, no problem. 185 and above, no problem. That middle weight class, for whatever reason, is a problem. I don't know why. But for the most part, if you're 3 days out and your opponent drops, I go, I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you. Your opponent drops.
So you're not like building a bench of additional fighters.
Sometimes I can.
Yeah.
But if I don't have that additional fighter, like right the other week I had someone drop, but I had somebody right behind him ready to go.
Ready to go. But
sometimes it's just not happening. I had a fight, like back when I used to fight. I think I had, over my whole career, maybe 5 drops. So my first fight that was supposed to happen, it took me a year when I first started fighting, by the way, for my first fight to actually happen.
Yeah, that's wild.
2 days notice, my first fight, I get a phone call.
2 days?
2 days notice, I get a phone call. And they said, your opponent...
I hope you were training the entire time, not knowing.
Oh, I knew. And I just kept training, hoping last minute they'd find something.
Something would come in? That's crazy.
Nothing happened. But 2 days before I get the phone call, they go, hey, so your opponent got a really bad skin infection with MRSA.
Ooh.
And I found out why. He got a tattoo done the week before the fight.
Oh, man. That's that silliness that people do where like when you're buying a house and you go out and buy all this stuff you shouldn't buy and then it kills your loan.
Exactly. And I just was like, dude, you common sense, bro. Or like I one time faced off with a guy. The next day after weigh-ins are done, I show up to the event. I'm getting ready. I'm like, all right, we weighed in. Nothing can go wrong. They come up to me. They're like, we're really sorry your opponent pulled out. And I'm like, how? And they said he got impaled through the shoulder by a pitchfork. And I never got the story of what happened.
Well, that's bullshit, Don. It's like
I wasn't even mad at that point. I was just
like,
curious.
What? You got a pitchfork through the shoulder. I want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I feel like alcohol was involved, but okay.
Maybe he's a farmer.
That's the other thing I thought of too, but I've spent a good chunk of my life with a pitchfork in the garage, and at no point has it ever ended up in me. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't ever wield my pitchfork around other people, so I wouldn't know how it would end up in someone's shoulder. But, you know.
Yeah, and usually like the week before the fights, I call that the witching hour, where it's just like my guys, whenever they're training, the week before their fights, I'm like, no sparring, nothing stupid. Right. I won't even let them be around certain people just to be safe, like in the gym, just because. And I'm just like, because it's just, there's this weird, dark energy that follows you, just waiting for you to mess up.
Yeah.
And it's just hoping, and it'll be like something stupid. It won't be anything. You'll just like, it's like when you get older, how like you sneeze with the wrong technique and you throw out your back. It's like that. Mm-hmm. Just something dumb will happen, and all of a sudden you're out of the fight.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I book so many fights, because I expect 3 to 5 of them to drop.
Like I was going to ask you that too. What's the perfect number of fights to have?
As many as I can get. But I stop at 20, because after that, if all 20 stay, if I go past that.
Well, you'd be there all night watching fights.
I'd be there all night, and also the insurance charges you extra for each fight that you have.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Well, I have to imagine that there's like a threshold for how many actual fights that the viewers want to see. Like,
no, exactly.
If I'm going to a fight and it starts like, because you guys start at what time?
This one will be starting at 5:30, so a little bit earlier than we have in the past.
Oh, that's nice for us old people. We appreciate that.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Plus myself.
But if you're going to do that many fights, I mean, you could be there midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, like that.
The commission that I use is called GAMA, Global Association of Mixed Martial Arts. They are phenomenal. They can do 5 fights an hour. I'm going to put a 10-minute intermission, obviously, as well, and throw out some T-shirts, do some special things with the microphone and all that.
Yeah.
But realistically, if, say, I had 20 fights, they can do 5 fights an hour. Okay, that's a 4-hour show.
4 hours.
They can do it. I know they can. I've seen them do it before. 5 fights an hour is their average time frame.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, once when it cuts down a bit, it'll be less. But in the middle of the show, I might do something as well, just for the audience themselves. And,
I mean, well, because I'm looking at it like, realistically, I mean, what's a ticket cost? Like $30, $50?
55.
55.
For
that's
the
what it
general
was.
admission.
So, like, I'm going to go for, I mean, that's a pretty good.
Yeah. Well, imagine when you go out.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
You're spending a cover charge.
Look at what a movie costs, or if you're going to go to wherever you go to, I don't know what people do for fun, but.
Me neither. I don't have a social life.
Yeah, me either. That's what I'm like. I don't actually do anything social, so I don't know what people do anymore. But
well, like you go to any bar downtown during track season, they're charging you, I don't even know, $10, $20 for a cover charge. And
do they have cover charges on bars downtown?
I don't know. I don't go anywhere anymore. I don't know
either.
That scene, but a lot of places do during certain times. We're a lot of fun. Yeah, we're a great time. Okay, look, I go to work, I train, and then I go home.
Yeah,
that's how it works. But like for me, I look at it, I go, you could do that. Go in, get a drink, maybe get to socialize with some people, and then you go home, or spend the money on a ticket. Enjoy a show. You still get a drink. You socialize, and you got live fights in front of you to watch and enjoy.
Which again, I would just encourage anyone. If you haven't been to a live fight, you should go to these fights. It's a lot of fun. The energy is just electric. Mm-hmm. Like the excitement, the people. Sometimes there's something funny that happens. I mean, I think
crazy stuff happens. It's such a good time.
And then you add a couple of beers in there, and like, what's not to like?
Exactly. So. And you bring a couple of your friends with you.
Yeah.
So I absolutely, I love it. And especially it's really cool to sit back and watch the production go on. I'm like, oh my God, I made this. This is crazy to me.
Yeah. That's got to be a cool part for you.
It's really strange.
Because you've been to shows.
Yeah.
You've been to these things. You fought in them, and you have been a spectator at them. And then you're seeing 1,000 people in a room watching however many fights.
It feels like I'm throwing a party,
Yeah.
and I don't know if anyone's coming that I invited.
That's got to be the stressful part, right? Yeah. Like leading up to it, like, are we going to sell tickets? Are we going to sell enough tickets? Like, are we going to make fun? Are we going to make money?
Yeah.
But then it's like, then it comes off. I mean, that's got to be like a high.
Every single time it's been successful, though.
Yeah.
So.
Well, right. Yeah. I'm not saying like you're that worried about it now, but
still are every single time. You know, you have that fear, but
because every time I've thrown a party, no one shows up. So it's just hanging out by myself. No, but that's got to be like a really exciting, fun thing to see it all come together. Like in anything, and I always relate that in business. Like in business, you have an idea, you don't know if it's going to frickin' work, and you do all this work and all these things to try to make this thing happen. And when it happens, it's like, I don't know if there's a better feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I literally, like after each show, just sit down by myself and just like, I'll decompress. I've cried before where I'm just like, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
I can't believe we pulled that off. I don't understand how. It's still a surreal feeling. The only thing that can match it is fighting itself for me, which I just don't want to do anymore. So,
yeah, I can't blame you.
Yeah.
I definitely the idea. It's the one thing I think about with going with. Cause do you guys? I'm gonna say do we, but I've only done one class, so I can't be included in the we yet. But do people in the Muay Thai program do they spar or they do?
So the way I run it is I have 2 days a week of sparring, and it's only for people that are ready for it. So like if I have a beginner that comes in, they're not gonna spar.
No.
But mind you, I have had guys before come in. They're just like, Coach, I think I'm ready. I'm like, you're not. But I'm like, you're not. And sometimes they'll listen and take their time, and other times they'll argue, and I go, dude, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get punched in the face anymore.
I only spar now with certain people like Marcus and stuff, where like I know we're gonna have a good time. I know we're just gonna have fun, and we're not gonna try and murder each other.
Yeah.
So, but again, when I explain this to people, I'm just like, you can come to a Muay Thai class at my gym, and you will be perfectly safe because I guarantee it, no one's gonna hurt you. Now,
except if you forget to put your hands up.
Exactly.
Which I did in my class with the kid. He barely even hit me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, first of all, I didn't put my freaking hands up like I was supposed to. Second, well, you didn't really hear me that hard, so don't worry about it.
I tend to tell people, I'm just like, look, you're going to come in and learn your fundamentals first, you can go from there.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to spar, that's cool, but there's a process to it. And you go through the process, we're good. But if you look at me and say, I want to be a fighter, and normally whenever someone walks in the gym right away and they go, oh, I have this dream of being a fighter, it never happens. It's the people that come in, like when Marcus started, he was just looking to get into something new and have fun and exercise. And then next thing I know, I'm like, yo, you're pretty good. You want to show up to sparring class? Sure. And then all of a sudden I was just like, yo, do you want to fight? He goes, okay, I'll try it out. And now he's fighting some of the top guys in the country.
Oh, who else do we have that's fighting in the...
on this upcoming show, the guys from our gym, there's one guy named Gavin Baker.
Oh, Gavin is fighting.
Yes, Gavin is fighting.
He's the kid that broke his thumb, right? Playing basketball? Yeah.
Gavin's fighting, and then...
I saw him at the last class. I didn't realize that he was into fighting at this point. He's nasty on the mats. Mm-hmm. Like
he's had 2 fights so far. His last fight, he actually broke the guy's nose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he's got 2 fights so far. And then the other person from our gym, his name's Ray Melanson.
I don't think I know Ray.
I'll introduce you to him sometime. Ray has been with me for a while, so he's a good dude. He's one of my ride or dies there, so
nice.
he'll be fighting on the upcoming show as well. So those are 2 guys from our gym that are fighting though. But like I said, and if you look at the show, like the majority of the fights are not our guys.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like I know. I feel like there's usually like one person on the card at least. That's someone that's from Nadakana or you know what I mean.
It's usually like a lot of other teams. I have a good mix of each team, so I try and get like 2 or 3 fighters from each team if I can, and that's it.
Yeah,
I don't want to overload.
Well, it's a lot to manage. You got to manage them as a coach, and you're trying to run the event.
And I'm trying to find them hotel rooms and other things.
Yeah. That's a lot of logistics to be handling all that stuff and do a great job at all of it at the same time.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody else that's maybe not from our gym, but is
Local?
Local, yes. Thank you. I was having trouble getting that out of my mouth for some reason.
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of local guys. Out of Brian Beery Jiu-Jitsu, we have a guy named David Ghali. He's a former Cage Wars champion. He'll be fighting Anthony Mixon from WNY, who's from Buffalo.
Okay.
Another one, we got Ricky Jorge. He's fighting from Brian Beery's as well. He's fighting Travis Rivolo. Travis is further out west. I'm trying to remember what gym he's out of. It'll come to me eventually. And then out of S3E25 Muay Thai, which is, I would say, usually gives me like some of the most fighters. We've got guys like Max Reith. Max Reith is a very popular fighter for whatever reason.
Because he's got a freaking cool name.
Honestly, yeah. Max Reith. We've got Trevor Stefanik.
Max Payne.
I'm trying to remember who else. It's all from S3E25. We got another guy.
Where's S3E25?
They're in Albany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're right above Albany Strength.
Is that the next? Because there's not a ton of Muay Thai in the area.
Between Saratoga and Albany, the next closest Thai coach is Albany.
Yeah.
That's my buddy Jeremy. And I would highly recommend it. Jeremy, when I was actively fighting, was one of my main coaches and training partners. When I was getting ready to fight actively, I only have 2 sparring partners in the entire area that I can crack in the face full force and not feel bad, and he's on that list.
Because he can take a punch?
Exactly. A lot of people I have to restrain myself. Jeremy, I don't have to. Jeremy, I can hit full force and he's perfectly fine. And Jeremy Hunt is, Jeremy, if you're listening, he's a phenomenal coach, phenomenal fighter, phenomenal martial artist, and he's one of my best friends, and he is a ride or die for me. So when I first started the show, he was the first coach in this area that believed in me and said, I'm going to send my fighters to your show and support you.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, he's got, I think who else? Logan Samaria, as I said, he's the co-main event. He's fighting for the vacant 170-pound title. So he's fighting against Kenny Mosso. So that is Logan's out of S3E25 Muay Thai as well. Who else?
They got a lot of fighters.
Yeah. So I usually, their last show, I had 9 guys from their gym on the card. Just happened to be that it worked out that way. And then a lot of the guys, I got guys coming from Buffalo, Connecticut, one guy from Vegas.
I was going to say, who's coming from the farthest away?
Yeah, that would be Vegas. That would be Nick Johnson, who is...
that's right, because that's where he's out in Vegas.
Yeah. So I don't just try and make it be figuring out, like, who's the best local tough guy. If you look at the fight show I'm putting on, sometimes I'll have local guys fight each other, especially debuters, because they need to get their feet wet. But a lot of these guys train with each other because we're all local and we'll cross-train sometimes. I'd rather bring some variety, and so that's where I bring guys in who have to drive or fly in. And I'll pay the travel, I'll pay the hotel, I don't care. And I go, now you get to test yourself against people from other regions of the world, and you don't have to leave the area.
Do you think that there's like a, I don't know if it's harder or easier, but like when you're, like, I know just from a training standpoint, right? If I'm going to go and roll with someone that I know, like, and especially if it's someone I roll with often, right? Like there's a trust there. I know they're not going to hurt me, so to speak, right? They're not going to do something stupid that's going to pop my rib on me. Oh, wait. Well, as opposed to rolling with a complete stranger that I don't know, I feel like it's almost, I don't want to, we'll say scarier. It's almost scarier to go against someone that you don't know versus someone that you do know.
Yeah, because you don't know. It depends. Like if you're talking about like cross-training in different gyms,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
a
all
lot
I
of that's going to depend on the gym's reputation. So like I'm all for cross-training, but when my people ask me about cross-training different gyms, I go, well, where are you going? Some gyms have certain reputations. Like when I train out of King's MMA in California, they are known for one thing, and that's if you go in there and their fight team practice, there's no light sparring. A lot of other teams, they just technical spar where they're just touching, they're not trying to kill you. At King's, they treat it like every round is a 5-round title fight. So that's one of those gyms where I go, if you go there, be ready to fight for your life. There's other gyms where I go, this is a very friendly gym. They're going to teach you. They'll take care of you. So it depends, right? It depends on the gym's reputation, and just ask your coach their opinion on it, and hopefully their coach knows better.
Well, I just feel like I would, if let's pretend for a moment that I'm a fighter, which I'm obviously not, and you and I go to different gyms and we're going to fight, right? Or would you pair guys up from the same gym for a fight? Like, would that happen?
I personally, no, not at this level. At the professional level, I have seen it happen before, though.
And then my question becomes like me, if I knew you, like we knew each other, maybe we're not the same gym, I would feel bad.
Yeah. So classic example in the UFC, Mark Hunt versus
I appreciate you saying it that way.
Yes. Versus Bigfoot Silva. They were training partners. But what happens, especially in the UFC, they have an actual like ranking in their divisions. So say one guy's a champion, one guy's ranked number one, and they're the next contender. Well, sometimes you can have multiple guys in the same gym that are in the same weight class.
Right.
I've seen it happen. Now, Rafael Cordero, my old coach, he usually tries to say no to the UFC if that happens. But sometimes they won't let you say no. They go, sorry, man. He's the next in line. What do you want us to do?
And then you got to fight each other, and you know each other.
At the amateur level, no, you usually don't fight your own teammates. But again, if you're cross-training, and I've seen guys, like I went to one show in Brooklyn a couple months ago. These two guys, they actually work in the same freaking, like, as employees at the same
job.
Yeah, at the same job. I was trying to remember how you say that because I don't feel like I have a job.
Words are tough.
Yeah. But like, yeah, and I watched them weighing in and they were laughing at the show. I'm like, you two friends? They're like, we work together. And I'm like, oh, and then they had one of the best fights possible. Their friendship didn't make a difference.
It's wild to me. Like, I would have such a tough time of like going no holds barred, so to speak, against someone that I know, and I got to see this dude, and I work with him.
I had it happen once. My buddy Zach Krasinski, we fought each other twice, and we became friends after the first time we fought, and we were always friends. We trained with each other a couple times, and then I had a last minute drop, and they said, we got this guy Zach Krasinski. I go, let's go. And we've been good friends for years. Yeah. We love each other.
Like, do you try to murder each other when you're in the ring?
Absolutely. You are not my friend in that moment.
Yeah, that's the, I guess, the question that I have. I'm just like,
it's business.
I have to assume, like, and again, I don't know because I am not I have no friend restaurants other than a couple of stupid street fights in my younger days. But like,
we're doing business. When we're fighting, it's business.
Right. Like, you're trying to murder each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not personal. It's just business.
You're not pulling punches. You're not holding back. No. You're trying to break their face.
I know what it's like to try and hurt a friend, you know?
Yeah. It's wild to me. I would not be very good at this sport if I was in it.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
I know. Good for you.
There's this person that I can just leave outside the cage. I go, you stay over there and we're going to bring in the other side, especially after I go through an intense weight cut. I'm like, no, I didn't just lose all this weight for nothing.
I'm hangry right now,
exactly.
Everyone. Let me fight this guy. What else we have coming up for Did we get through all the matchups? What else we got going on for matchups?
Oh, tons of them.
I know.
We have also this is a mixed card. It's not just Muay Thai. We have mixed martial arts on the card as well. So we have a mixture of those two styles. So I actually think the Muay Thai is more entertaining than the MMA.
I really do like watching the Muay Thai.
Well, a lot of the MMA, you know what happens, especially in this area, because it's still a little jiu-jitsu heavy.
They go down to the ground.
And then they lay there on each other.
Yeah, and it's hard to watch when you're in the stands. You can't really see what's happening when they're rolling around.
I do have a screen now that I put up.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yes, I did fix that problem.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, because that was like...
Well, so we were supposed to one show. It was like show number 2 or 3 we were supposed to, and there was one part missing in the projector to help like elevate it.
Oh, that sucks.
And I was like... So I just had to be like, all right, I guess we're not doing that yet.
Yeah. Well, because like when in the first one, when Chad had his fight, it was a great fight, but like there was a lot on the ground, and I'm like trying to see.
Also, that was a lower cage. We have a new cage.
Oh,
cage is higher up, so when it hits the ground, you can still
see it's at eye level.
That
nice.
cage. So that cage I got out of some backyard in Vermont. This new one is like, it's a real deal. It is a quality, like competition style cage. The old cage was one that like you would set up in your gym and just leave there, and it's low to the floor. The new one's huge. It's a 26-footer all the way around, 6-sided cage. So,
any female fights?
Unfortunately, no, not in this show.
Not in this one.
I try my best to book female fights, but there's already so few female fighters as there are in our area, so it's really tough to book that one.
It's always wild to me with the female fights because you got these like beautiful young women before they go in the ring, and then
they walk out a little bit different.
Oh my god, and they're just they're like crazy in the ring, like they're like.
Yeah.
Unleashed.
Well, our first show, we had a Lumpini Stadium champion fighting.
Yeah, I know. Remember I said to you the one girl that like looked like my daughter.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that girl looks like my freaking daughter. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
And and it's really funny because she had like a sweet, innocent little face, and then she gets in the ring, and next thing you know, there's some blood, and it's just like, wow, this is wild, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, that was LG Pinnell was her name. Yeah. I see her still once in a while. She's down in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've really gotten into. I'm not gotten into. That's not a way to say it. But like, I really do enjoy the female fights now. I never really used to, but like recently, I just feel like the quality of fighting
It's increasing. So like when the UFC first started, for example, if you notice compared to what we have today, like you had guys that were different styles, like of very specific martial arts.
Yeah, that back in the day, like Ken Shamrock days, like you'd have the kickboxer and the jiu-jitsu guy and the taekwondo guy
and like the sumo wrestler.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now everybody's mixed.
Yep.
When the women's divisions first started, MMA and the women's division of the UFC in general was in its infancy. So like Ronda Rousey, when she first started, she seemed like she was unbeatable. Then more high quality fighters started to get, and because it took a while to build that roster. If you look at the amount of women that are in the UFC, especially in the 125 pound division, there's still not that many.
Yeah.
But the quality kept going up as they were finding more and more. And now Ronda, my personal opinion, she definitely is a historical figure for sure in women's mixed martial arts. Do I think she helped pave the way for that? Yes. But there's so many women now that you don't even know about that are far better quality than her. But it's because Ronda came in at the right time when it was still in its infancy. Now you have these female fighters coming up who are a lot more well-rounded than she was. And it's the same thing that happened in the men's division years ago. And now it just happens to be that the women's division is picking up. And it just, unfortunately, at the lower levels where I don't have a worldly database yet, I can only go regionally. So I can only, within a certain region, find as many female fighters as I can.
Yeah. I mean, I think like anything, right? That kind of grows over time.
Exactly. It's just going to take time for this whole thing to grow. And that's like, so for example, the novice rule set for Muay Thai. If you have less than 2 fights, you have to wear headgear.
Yeah.
It looks ugly. I get it. However, some of those fights are more entertaining than the advanced.
I would want headgear on any number of fights.
But then after 2 fights, we get to take off the headgear. And I had somebody say like, oh, there seemed like the first time around there's a lot of headgear fights go because it was a new show.
Yeah.
It was a new database. It was a bunch of newer fighters. Gonna happen. I still got some on this one too, just to open up the show with like the first 3 fights have headgear. After that, it's all advanced rule set.
I think it was kind of cool to watch those, to be honest with you, because for some of those guys, it was their first time in the ring.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they were, reticent to get kicked in the head. I mean, I can't imagine it's got to be scary as hell.
Oh, I've had anxiety attacks fighting before.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Now I don't care.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's that thing, right, that you build up that mental callous to. But you've got to be like the first time you're walking in that ring, headgear or no headgear, you got to be freaking scared. Yeah. Like, and you can, and I on one of the fights in particular, I remember you could kind of tell they both were scared. And so they kind of, at first they came in and they were kind of checking each other and, tapping each other. They weren't, and then it increased from there and got a little more fervent.
Exactly.
But yeah.
My first fight ever, I remember I won the first round. I took him down and then I was like, I go to sit in the corner and Jesse Bruchak was one of my cornermen. He comes up and goes, how you feeling? I go, I'm really tired. He goes, all right, well, that sucks for you. And I couldn't feel my hands.
Yeah, I
literally had no feeling in my fingers and I was freaking out.
You're just completely out of your body at that point.
Luckily, my training took over, so I was okay. But mentally, I was not with it. And I've had fights before where I went in with a panic attack.
Yeah. I would have a panic attack. I think about, and it's I think one of the reasons why I appreciate people that will do it and why I enjoy it so much is because I'm just like, I could not freaking do that, man. Yeah. I would not be able to get in that ring and just start getting kicked in the head or, try to kill somebody.
And that's wild. The other thing too, when people want to criticize, and it's usually the ones that have never tried it before, I go, I dare you to hop in there.
Yeah.
I dare you to sign up and try and do this.
Yeah. Guys that aren't fighting, they're not rolling, they're not doing any sort of martial arts, but they got a huge opinion on what that fighter could have done to win the fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. There's a lot of silliness in society these days.
You're telling me. Well, that's part of the reason I made this. I'm hoping that this show will help educate people more on martial arts as well and get people more interested. I made this so that way the community can benefit. And that was the whole reason this was started. For no other reason. It was just to help.
I mean, I can tell you, like just going to the one Muay Thai class and I mean, having rolled jiu-jitsu off and on for a long time now, but like, it's just fun, man. Like, I'm not there because I want to be able to. I'm not trying to be a
majority of my
badass. And I'm not trying
clientele
to
are
like.
people that show up. They just want to have a good time.
Yeah, man, it is.
I feel
fun.
the same way. That's the reason I showed up to begin with, just because I love training martial arts. The fact I got into competing, that's a whole other subject we'll talk about in another podcast one day.
Yeah.
But like, for the sake of like the gym, if you try and make everybody into a fighter, you will create a toxic environment.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have a handful of guys that like fighting and genuinely want to be there, awesome. What happens when you force people to be there and force people to be something they don't want to be? Everyone starts to resent you. So I'd rather, my gym is more of a place where you show up and you make it what you want to make it.
Yeah.
If you want to be a fighter, I will bring you there. If you want to just be a hobbyist, I will bring you there. If you want to just get in really good shape, I will bring you there. Regardless, you will learn.
It's a good workout too. I mean, I will say that. I mean, I'm in decent shape, and like just doing technical work.
Yeah.
I'm like huffing and puffing a couple of times throughout. I'm like, geez, I mean, the warm up obviously is a little harder, but like when you think just stand there doing kicks and teeps and whatever you're doing is like not going to be that physically active, but like it does, man. You get sweating, get out of breath just doing that work. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I think everybody should do it.
No, agreed.
I also think everybody should get punched in the face just once.
Just once, just to find out.
I've been punched in the face, so I no longer want to do that. I know what that feels like. So when's the show? I don't know. Where.
June 14th.
June
14th at the Saratoga Springs City Center. Doors open 4:30. Fights start at 5:30. And I always start on time.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Is that a Friday or a Saturday?
It's on a Saturday.
It's on a Saturday. Did you do it on a Friday at one point?
Once, and that was really annoying.
Was it?
Something about a Saturday night, man. People prefer it.
People love it. Friday, they got to go to work.
Yeah,
they gotta do
no,
all
exactly.
stuff. Saturday. And is the bar open at 4:30 when you first go in? Or
yeah.
Oh, nice. So
Everything's ready to go.
Who's doing the beer this time?
Speckled Pig Brewing Company.
Oh, nice.
So they'll be bringing beer and food. Dude, the last two shows we did with them, they ran out like an hour before the show was done. They were just like, we have nothing left.
That's amazing. And not amazing at the same time. I mean, it sucks if you want a beer and you can't get one, but great that there's so many people and that there's.
They try. They're like, we brought more the second time around and it ran out an hour beforehand again.
That's a hard thing to judge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it was a longer night though, so I'm guessing people were staying longer too.
Yeah.
So.
They got great pizza. Are they slinging pizzas at this thing too?
I'm not sure what's going to be on the menu. I believe that they plan to bring back the pizzas though, because one of the things they're known for is making their own pizzas.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
Actually, if you haven't been to the Speckled Pig over in Boston Spot, you should go.
Yeah.
What a great location. Really cool setup that they have there. And again,
the owners are phenomenal people too.
The beer's great. The ciders, I really enjoy the ciders, and the pizza's amazing. So. And they didn't pay me to say that, everybody. I'm actually just really enjoy their food.
Didn't
and
pay
booze.
you yet.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Not a sponsor.
Hey, Speckled Pig. I appreciate you coming over.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate talking to me about the fights. I appreciate you putting the fights on. Again, like I keep saying, I'm going to get to them, and then life keeps happening. But I have destocked the farm. I have less issues going on, so I should be at the fight this time, which is
awesome.
I mean, I know you don't miss me, Don, when I'm not there.
I miss you all the time.
You got your own thing going on there, but I do enjoy those fights, and I'm really looking forward to it. So,
good.
If people want to learn more about the fights, the lineup, I should say the fight card, or they want to buy tickets, like where do they go for all that?
For social media, if you want to go to Instagram, it's Elite Fighting Promotions. Facebook, Elite Fighting Promotions. If you want to go to our website, it's www.elitefightingpromotions.com. And if you click where it says events, it'll bring you right to the ticket link and you can purchase tickets there.
Nice.
So we did just have one front row that I had to refund because of something.
So there's one available.
So there is one front row table available. Those go fast and it's cheaper than if they seat 6, you get a server.
It might be like a Gallagher show, you might get some stuff on you in the front row.
Exactly.
It's like worth the money.
Exactly. So,
and we know it's not dirty because they're tested, everybody.
Exactly. So the blood is fine. It's clean. It's good blood.
It's good blood.
You can eat it.
You could donate it if you wanted to, maybe. Thanks again for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for listening, and of course, thanks to our community partners for making all this stuff possible and what you do, and thanks for our viewers and listeners for giving us a reason to record the show. Talk to you next week, everybody.